Yo, 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 we are here to check our Act 4 packets. Alright, ladies and gents, so we read Act 3, right? We know what happens. It was after all the speeches, friends, Roman countrymen, all of that. Now we gotta see what happens next, okay? So here you guys should have filled out with your groups, your names. We don't need to worry about that part too much. Let's go to vocab. Alright, so we didn't have a ton for Act 4, but make sure you have something similar. It does not have to be the same as mine, but something similar. So bequests, I said, meant legacy. Grievances, means grief. Rebuked means to oppose something. Noble is kingly, like a king. Insincere, I said, was false. You could say anything like tricking you, lying, that kind of thing. Condemned means convicted. And then justice means law. So again, not a lot there, guys. Should be pretty easy, okay? So let's go to plot. This one is a really interesting, kind of longer part of the play, okay? So we got Act 4, Scene 1. This is a secret meeting place after the Senate. So after that big scene, now we see Antony. We know the people of Rome are super fired up. They're Team Antony, right? They want to kill people. And we saw Cinna the poet was an innocent bystander, right? That was a victim of this rage, this mutiny, okay? So in Act 4, Scene 1, Antony, Lepidus, and Octavius decide which conspirators need to die. So they're plotting not good, okay? So then Scene 2, Act 4, Scene 2, this one takes place on the battlefield. So war has broken out in Rome at this point, something you guys learn more about in history class. But now we're going to see kind of how our characters handle that, or what do they do within that, okay? So Cassius and Brutus have kind of a friend fight, if you will, but more intense, right? Obviously the circumstances are a little bit higher than when we fight with our friends, hopefully. So Cassius accuses Brutus of wronging him kind of in front of everyone, and they're like, hey, can we go talk in private? Like, this is awkward, okay? And Antony and Octavius decide to raise an army to combat the one Brutus and Cassius are raising. So we have, again, those two opposing sides that we saw in the speeches in Act 3 are now literally going to battle each other, okay? So kind of intense there, but we want to see where this leads them. And then finally, Scene 3, this one is really long, but a lot of important things happen in Scene 3, okay? So Brutus and Cassius, they go into a tent on the battlefield, and they are arguing for a long time about, why did you make me do it? I should never have killed Caesar. They are having a lot of regrets, and they're kind of accusing each other. So it's a really long fight between what were kind of good friends there for a little bit, right? Eventually, they do shake hands. They do kind of try and make up, because they realize that together they are stronger, and they need to defeat Antony's army, okay? Brutus shares some tough news that his wife Portia is dead from swallowing burning coals. She is both nervous about him gone on the battlefield. Also, the deeper meaning of that is she knows what happened, right? She knows why Brutus did that, because remember before in Act 2 we see her kind of asking these questions, and so she can't handle it anymore, right? She wants to take her own life, which is just a really intense, sad part of this play, okay? And then next, so we have some other characters kind of enter on and off, and we have a messenger, Messala, comes and talks to them, and they say that Antony's army has put 100 senators to death, including Cicero. So that is just kind of like a bring it on, like it's battle time, right? It's kind of a warning to Cassius and Brutus. And then finally, guys, this part is super crazy. The ghost of Caesar visits Brutus and tells him, I will see you at Philippi, right? Which we know is going to be a battle later on, especially from history class, we know that. But like, what? That's crazy, right? And the ghost is also talking to Brutus very quickly. He only has like 2 or 3 lines. But is talking to Brutus kind of about like the regret he should be feeling. Whoa, what? We didn't even know that was coming. So clearly that's an omen of some sort or a warning, right? And we're going to see what happens next there, okay? All right, so now let's talk about some themes in this. Okay, so the first one I said was regret, and that has a lot to do with Brutus and Cassius having their really big disagreement and their argument. The quote that really struck me was when Cassius says, there's my dagger and here's my bare chest. He so deeply regrets his actions and the mess that he is in, that I think part of it is a little bit petty when he says that, right, to Brutus, but he also is like, I'm done. Like, I don't want this anymore. Get me out of this situation, right? So here I said Cassius wants Brutus to stab him because he so deeply regrets his actions. Again, maybe it's a little bit petty in that fight, but I also think there is some sincerity there, okay? And for me, that's a dark red. Okay, and then the next one is warning. Obviously, Caesar's ghost was unexpected in every way and really kind of creepy. At least when I was reading it, I felt that way. So when he says yes at Philippi, I was like, whoa, okay, that's a warning of some sort. And so that's my quote. And then the ghost of Caesar warns that something will happen at Philippi. Obviously, we're not done here, right? And for me, that color is maybe like a darker blue, even like a gray, kind of like weird omen-y color, okay? So guys, take a look at this video. Whatever you need, go back and pause it, and hopefully you have what you need in your packet. We're almost done with the play, guys. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it is intense.